they were preparing for war, which back then it was actual trumpets. Now spiritual, because we're what saying that war is coming. Through this word. Go ahead.
And after this, Judas ordained captains over the people, even captains over thousands and over hundreds and over fifties and over tens.
Go ahead.
But as for such as were building houses or had betrothed wives, or were planting vineyards or were fearful, those he commanded that they should return, every man to his own house according to the law.
That's right, because according unto the law, if you are in that estate, you can't come up to war.
So yeah, mine's not in the right place.
So yeah.
So the camp removed and pitched upon the south side of Emmaus. And Judas said, Arm yourselves. And be valiant men.
Yep.
And see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations.
Exactly, because it wasn't only the Greeks who came against us. If you read the story, there was a company of even heathens as well. There were Philistines too, who had just came up, a company of nations also, to come against Israel. Because if you read prior to that, in parts of chapter 3, there were certain wars that us lot were involved, which we were involved in and won. So like now it was like, look, man, we got to get these guys. So they went to other lands and brought some nations to help fight against Israel. Which, if you read the story, they actually still lost, because why? The Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai was with them. Keep going on.
That ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary. For it is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary.
They were ready to die, man.
Nevertheless, as the will of God is in heaven, so let him do.
So again, now we going Lord's will, which we ain't gonna read the whole story, because we ain't gonna
just get straight to the point.
We're gonna get straight to the point, So read verse 27 on down. Because now it's going to explain, the war we won and the rededication of the temple. But what we did through the Spirit was explain the whole backstory of the persecution, and just speaking how it applies unto us now today. And now hopefully we're going to just get into the history of the event, because again it's about to come up, and again the information will be posted on the Apostles' site.
47?
No, verse
27. This is 1 Maccabees 4:27. Who, when he had heard thereof, was confounded and discouraged, because neither such things as he would were done unto Israel, nor such things as the king commanded him were come to pass.
Actually, you know what, bro? I'm sorry. Read verse 35, and that's it.
This is verse 35.
Come.
Now when Lysias saw his army put to flight, and the manliness of Judas' soldiers, and how they were ready either to live or die valiantly, he went into Antiochia and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army greater than it was, he purposed to come again into Judea.
Now, see, that point there is speaking about, because he already had a war with the first time, which they lost. They had it again and lost. So then after, he just went away for a certain period of time and eventually came back. But this is after we already won the actual war, which they had 47,000 people, which we only fought with 10,000 people and still won. So now it's going to explain the event after the actual war of rededicating that temple.
Then said Judas and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Sion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate, and the altar profaned, and the gates burnt up, and shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, yea, and the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes and made great lamentation, and cast ashes upon their heads.
Yeah, because the if I can just say this, the kind of stuff that was going on in the sanctuary, how they polluted it, they decimated it, man. You had all manners of swine's flesh, dried blood, all up on the walls. You had probably semen stains on the floor and shit because they were having orgy parties in there.
Yep.
You know, if I can get a quick example, real quick.
Go ahead up.
Second Maccabees 6 and 4. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. And the altar was also filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself or to be a Jew. And that's what they were doing, man. You know, committing all kinds of adultery, abominable acts and that, slaughtering swine's flesh on the altar. You know.
The Edomites have got no regard for anything sacred.
Hey, the brother read it, Psalms 50 and 16.
That's just
what is thou to do to declare my statutes?
And the scripture says, lest there be any profane people.
Profane, that's right.
As Esau, which profanes outside the temple. Man.
That's right.
So you guys have always caught that L and been rejected.
You're just off, man.
That's right.
Edomites are off, man. All you heathens are off, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Go ahead.
And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets, and cried toward heaven.
That's right.
Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress.
Yeah, because during that time period, the actual heathen set a fortress in Israel, just basically near the temple, to obviously, because what they also did was take stuff from the temple and put it in that fortress too, like certain cups and ornaments that was in the temple, so they put in the fortress to basically take spoils from us. Go ahead.
Until he had cleansed the sanctuary. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the set fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law,
Levites,
who cleansed the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profaned, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them.
Because it was so defiled. Pork was actually sacrificed on the altar, man.
Because the heathen had defiled it, wherefore they pulled it down.
That's it.
And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should become a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hallowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick, and the altar of burnt offerings, and of incense, and the table. And upon the altar they burned in incense, and lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light to the temple. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table, and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 25th day of the 9th month, which is called the month Caslu, in the 148th month, they rose up betimes in the morning, and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it.
Because I think 3 years prior to this event, the actual heathen actually sacrificed pork on that same, well, it wasn't the same altar, but on the altar. So a couple of years after, we came against them and rededicated the temple. Do you want to read that? First Maccabees
1 and 59.
Yeah.
Now the 5 and 20th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High.
Exactly. So that explains it. I'll go back to that, brother. Sure.
Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that was it dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals.
So that same day, a couple years later, so this event took place, which is all beautiful, man. Go ahead.
Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshipping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them a good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days. Going back to the feast of dedication mentioned in John. Right?
Yeah, exactly, going back to the Feast of Dedication, which proves that the Apocrypha is a part of the Scriptures.
That's right.
And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of this temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates and the chambers they renewed and hanged doors upon them. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away.
So after all that persecution, Jake finally had a time of what? Of you know, joy and happiness, which for that 8-day period, bear happiness and things is taking place during them 8 days.
Can I just say that?
Go ahead.
So the Lord ultimately gave victory
Yep.
to Israel over its enemies, man.
Can.
Okay, and that feast of dedication was that renewing that was coming in. Okay,
That's right.
And the downfall of our enemies, and we're coming into that time now again where the Lord's gonna rise up. He's rising up his men, and the Lord's gonna come back in a wonderful way, man, with the chariots.
That's right.
And he's gonna destroy our enemies,
Yep.
and he's gonna bring about that renewal, man, the kingdom of heaven, man.
Kingdom of heaven. That's
Okay.
right. That's right, bro.
Bro, Baba Kusha, read verse 59 real quick, just to clarify the feast.
Fifth verse, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the fifth verse.
59.
59.
Right,
4 and 59.
this is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season,
Yep.
from year to year,
Yep.
by the space of 8 days, from the 25th day of the month, Caslu, with mirth and gladness.
Mirth and gladness.
And that's what it is, man. It's coming up.
Yeah. Mirth
And that's why, that's why we try to keep it to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
Alright, we rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, man.
That's right.
Because look, man, this ain't just some bandwagon. This ain't no boy band group, man.
Yeah.
This is our lifestyle, man. This is our heritage.
It's our heritage, man.
So you got to get into these scriptures, man. You got to understand that you're a part of the story, man.
That's right.
Being of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, man. This is written for us, man.
That's right.
He showed his word unto Jacob, man.
His statutes.
You haven't dealt so with any nation.
Can.
And that's important to take away with you, man. And not only that, but the valiantness of our forefathers, man.
That's
What they
right.
stood for, man.
That's right.
Alright, so how much are we supposed to stand up in this time, man? What we're gonna do? Just roll over like them Uncle Toms back then? We're gonna beg Antiochus. We're gonna beg the so-called white. We're gonna beg Trump. What we're gonna do? Beg him for food? Beg him for that EBT card over there in America?
Can.
Beg him for a council estate over here, man. Fuck that, man. I'd rather die, man.
That's right.
Which
Which again, see this whole event and story that took place, man. So that's why the scripture speaks about, it's important to teach your basically let your kids basically hear this truth, basically hear these events that took place in the scriptures, man.
but that Romans.
Because what Jacob will always say, what there ain't no black superheroes and so on and so forth. Well, in our heritage, man, you had men who are of your people, man, of the 12 tribes of Israel, being Negro, Latinos, and natives, man, who accomplished great things, and this feast being a part of that, man.
That's right. Can get this one quick.
Go ahead.
Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning,
That's right.
that we through much patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That's right. So with that, we're gonna say, oh, honor and praises be to Yahweh. Double honors unto the apostles and great millstone, and shalom to all the sincere alchem out there, tuned out there. Truth is sincere. We obviously didn't want to make it too long, but it's a spirit, So shalom.
Shalom.
So,
Shalom.